mediate representations. So these are the research questions. First question is the role of selective exposure and politicization of entertainment desirable in a democracy? And the second question is whether these religious insinuations in media trigger tension. And the third one is how does this news making process happens and how does it take place in the newsroom concerning the sensitization of sports and entertainment news coverage. So why did I choose NDTV? If you pay attention to this clip, you can see two channels, ABP News and NDTV, covering the same news. ABP News covers the news as like this. What kind of Muslims are these who are killing other humans during Ramzan? Hasina, Sheikh Hasina. But NDTV, the same news is reported as what kind of humans are these who are killing other humans during Ramzan? So there is a slight difference, but it's a very big difference. Rather than using Muslims, they have used humans. So there is this common notion of NDTV journalists of being unbiased or being popular in that regard. That's why I chose NDTV as my subject, because there is a common notion of NDTV being the unbiased, independent media. And the second reason is the recent takeover of the firm, and whether it resulted in any kind of change in the newsroom dynamics is also a factor of curiosity for me. That's why I took NDTV. Yeah. The research methodology is the sampling is random. It's a qualitative research, and normal fair close critical discourse analysis is used to analyze the discourses. So about fair close critical discourse analysis. Normal fair close critical discourse analysis has become widely used in media studies as it provides a useful tool for examining the language of media text. CDA is based on the idea that language is not neutral, but rather reflects and reinforces power relationships between different social groups. As such, CDA can be used to uncover how media texts construct particular versions of reality which serves to promote certain ideologies or interests. In addition to providing insights into how power dynamics operate within specific texts, CDA also offers valuable insights into wider patterns across multiple texts produced by different authors with various agendas. So, this is the first case study, which is a controversy regarding the web series called Thunder. If you pay attention to all these thumbnails, you can see certain phrases like unconditional apology or manufactured outrage for political gains. And in the third one, you can see Thunder Bro crackdown against Muslim artists. So all these things points towards one thing: the religion and how it works in the entertainment industry. Like Thunder, the whole issue became a political battlefield. All Indian news channels have covered this issue, including NDTV. But then what happened is these reports have explored various aspects of the issue, including why it is so controversial and how it could impact freedom of expression in India. NDTV also hosted debates on its flagship show, The Buck Stops Here, to discuss the controversy further. The debates featured prominent members of both sides of the argument, such as BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra and Congress leader Abhishek Singhvi. The controversy soon elevated into a political battle as prominent politicians started calling out each other. The crew of the series soon put up an apology, but the controversy didn't die there. NDTV named it as a political thunder, and this particular phrase was repeated in their many of their programs, and it sort of kind of emphasized an idea that this is no more an entertainment thing. This is a very political thing, and there is a political battleground being created in Bollywood. Much of the debate went into the religious identity of the people involved in the group, including the hero. And taglines such as news of the nation, Tandav of intolerance, these kind of tags were used repetitively, and which it also helped the sensitization of the event over the other contemporary issues. No other contemporary issues were given this much screen time. The second one is Qatar 2022 World Cup. If you just check in the YouTube, like Qatar 2020 22 NDTV, you can see that apart from all those sports part, you can see these kind of news. Like football fans has to ask to avoid revealing clothes, beer ban, and all that. So it throws light to the Arab traditions and lifestyle and all that. But when you see it closely, there is a religious connection to it also. So they are problematizing sports also. You can actually observe the same thing when India Pakistan cricket matches happen. This happened in November 2022. Qatar hosted the World Cup, and the news was much celebrated. Everything from the match details to the economy of it was discussed and debated. Though special attention was given to the religious side of the Muslim community, subtle hints about the lifestyle and religious dogmas of the country was highlighted over the sports in order to create the drama needed. News about beer ban, clothing etiquettes, and the nuances of Arab world was the major interesting news. So yeah, this leads to selective processing happening in newsrooms. With limited airtime or column images available for stories, a newsroom should prioritize which one should be featured in order to maximize viewership or readership. As such, many programs rely heavily upon ratings-based decisions when selecting the news or how to cover or in deciding how to cover this particular news and all that. Those deemed most likely to attract viewers are most likely to get more airtime. On close examination, one can understand the above mentioned subjects, that is, both the case studies, were given more airtime over other contemporary issues. In the week begins from January 18, 2021, which is when the Thunder controversy happened, only this particular issue was given prime importance, including their top news of the day, their hot topic, their reality check. All these programs cover Thunder issue, and all these programs have half an hour airtime. So these are some of the results I have got. There are a number of characteristics of news selection and production noted on the basis of case studies mentioned above. These are giving prime time and dedicated sessions for the topic, use of phrases like news of the nation, hot topic, and all that. Follow-up news is regular follow-ups and branching out of the issue. A variety of programs being given to the same issue, like interviews, debates, reports, and all that. Very heavily politicized discussions. It concentrates on certain aspects rather than providing a comprehensive coverage. And also, their representation in panel discussions were not equal. And often the inclusion of not so significant details, so that we can add spice to this particular topic. Reportage become a kind of storytelling rather than giving just facts. News reporting today has become a storytelling. Visual, auditory, graphics elements are used. Individual opinions often portrayed as a common sentiment of community. This can be observed mainly in panel discussions and stuff. So yeah, to the summary, I have concluded 4 markers of how media selectively sensitizes content. One is linguistic preference. By linguistic preference, I mean the language of the media. As I have said, certain taglines are used. It is repetitively used. That sort of thing. Second thing is priority on airtime. When is this particular issue given airtime? How much airtime is given? All sort of things. The third thing is structural variety. That is, regarding the same topic, they are given a variety of shows. Fourth thing is constant follow-ups and additions to the issue, so that people will be engaged in that particular issue. And whether this is desirable in a democracy, It's a much subjective thing, whether is it desirable or not. But it has some direct impacts, I would say. Um, like for example, this bikini controversy happened regarding Pathan movie, and its subsequent reportage was deeply religion based. It helped the movie gain a lot of money in the box office and popular support across India. And similar is the case with India-Pakistan cricket matches, as I said. The vigorous and emotionally charged reports starts even before the match, and it elevates the expectations of the game and it boosts the business inside also. So partisan media can be detrimental. It can lead into overly polarized public discourse, and it can create a sort of echo chamber effect. And when you are exposed to only one particular side of the issue, there can be chances that you disregard all the evidence-based arguments and all that, and it can maybe lead to religious tensions and all that. So yeah, these are some of the reference materials I have used apart from all the YouTube video clips of NDTV. That's it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Anaga. Thank you so much for your interesting paper. Do we have any questions? Okay. Anaga, it was really very interesting paper.
Thank you.
And the portrayal of religion, which you have seen, and NDTV as a parameter, which like based on the basis of which you have studied. So I just wanted to ask that since you have taken Tandav and Qatar as two incidents, like Qatar's like the World Cup that happened, and Tandav the series. So, does it, like for example, there are a lot of other controversies where religious portrayal happens in a completely reverse way. Because even in the way of Tandav and even in the Qatar, you can see one particular religion and their practices are being much more brought into limelight. But there are other religion and other practices also. So can we just say that this is religion as a whole or portrayal of just that particular religion?
No, I mean, regarding the standard issue, the problem was portrayal of Hindu gods. So actually, what happened is they become a political battle between Hindus and Muslims. How the Hindu gods are perceived, and the problem started from the Hindu community itself, how their gods are perceived and all that. Regarding this Katha World Cup, it's like. It's like Muslim lifestyle is more focused, and how this Arab world stands alone, or how does their lifestyle is going on, how regarding this beer ban and dressing style and all that. So the focus was more on Arab lifestyle, and these can be observed over every particular religion, even in Christianity or Jewish or anything. I have taken couple of case studies for this research purpose only, but it can be it can be applied to every religion, and I'm pretty affirmative that we can find examples from every religion like this. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Anaga, for your beautiful paper. So we have the last paper for this session. Ms. Mridusmita Basumatari from Department of English, Gauhati University.
Hello, good evening everyone. So I'm the last, but I wanted to say, I have been wanting to say this that it makes me feel so trivial to stand in front of you scholars because, spoiler alert, I don't have any findings, I don't have any references or data, and this thing is just more of an article, an opinion-based article rather than a paper. So I will want your patience and attention for a few minutes from now on, and I'm afraid that I will even be able to speak for 10 minutes. So please bear with me. And hello again. My name is Smita Vasumatari, and I am a student of English, Department of English under Guwahati University. So again, not a student of journalism or mass comm. So yeah, so bear with me. I'm standing here with this presentation to speak on the role of media in a peaceful society. So this presentation will explore the role of media as a powerful tool in promoting unity, and at the same time how media can both be a positive as well as negative tool to foster division and hostility, and also to spark controversy, hatred, and that creates havoc in the society if not used freely and responsibly. And here we will also see how we can use media more effectively to promote peace and celebrate diversity in society and thereby avoid conflict. So we'll move to our next slide, that is epistem. So we all know that the role of media in our society is to keep the public informed and educated about affairs either past or present that is going on in the society. So also sorry, my presentation might not be engaging and colorful just like the other, but since I have come here, so I will go on anyways. I will speak, and this is my first presentation ever, so I will gather the experience on this here. So yeah, media is very powerful information in this business, in organization in this business of information gathering and advertising. So we should also be very well aware of the fact that likewise that as media is very helpful for keeping the individuals informed. Likewise, it can also be a tool for spreading misinformation, which in turn causes division in the society. If the content and details presented to the general public masses is not accurate and authentic, then the trust in media will who should we trust if they are doing this with us? So uh, if the content and details presented to the general mass is not accurate and fair, then it will create havoc in the society. And if it is genuine and authentic, then it will increase mutual trust, empathy, and understanding among the people, which are the most important ingredients for peace. And at the same time, it will also reduce prejudice. So we all know that media is very powerful and it has the potential to promote, and it also helps in giving peace, and not only it inspires its nation, but it not only it inspires the nation, but it can also bring a nation together in times of strife, like in times of COVID. We see how we were together as a nation in fighting the disease or pandemic or whatever you say. So realizing the depth of media, how powerful it is, we also should remember that if it is not used responsibly, uh, how it can break a cause. So it should, for in my opinion, since I already say that it is more of an opinion-based article, not a paper exactly. So in my opinion, I what I understand is that media should be free and independent. And when I say this, I mean to say that it should be free from the influence of the government that I'm saying directly, and certain corporates that try to own media to promote their own agendas and to promote their to spread propaganda, which often causes tension and conflict in the society. And when media is one-sided and when it is forced to have a side that they are biased, and when media is neutral and objective, it can help public to shape their opinion and thereby influence the behavior of the people. And in this way, they can behave very ethically and responsibly. And uh, it also promotes peace after that. Uh, my next point is that free and independent media is also useful for a democracy to thrive. And we all know that India is a democratic country, but okay, a democratic government only functions with an educated public who are informed about different issues going on in the state, and media gives that public a voice. When the public is able to speak freely about their opinions about what they want as a citizen of the country, then the state will also you will also be able to understand that what the citizens need and thereby adjust themselves for the better to suit themselves for the for their citizens. And if it is one-sided and it only speaks for those who are in power or those who have a loud voice, that is, those who are in status or money-based or loud voice. I think all of you are familiar with what I mean by loud voice. Then it becomes corrupt. So in that case, the nation would crumble. Without media, the masses would be properly informed about the political affairs of the region, the different political parties and politicians, so on. And unbiased media also allows people to make their own choices as they become fully aware of what politicians they should support for and what their political parties are doing. And in that way, the people get a better understanding of the situation and analysis on their own instead of following biased news sites and articles. And also, I want to say that with no proper news, politics will be full of rumors and gossip. I think it already is, but I'm not going to speak on that. So, so my next point is free and media. Independent media helps to build mutual trust, understanding, and communication among communities. So we all know that peaceful communities are built on trust and understanding, and one of the keys to achieving this is a free and responsible media. In a peaceful society, media plays a very responsible role in helping communities communicate with each other and understand different perspectives and viewpoints. In other words, to help people understand why a certain community behaves in a certain way which might be aligned to some people. And by promoting this understanding and communication, communities can work together, come together, and both parties can come together to a mutual agreement and develop healthy relationships. And in this way, it also gives us a more honest picture of one another to see that everyone might have their own perspective and viewpoints, and that understanding allows respect and tolerance to take place between different people. And I think this is very important in areas of conflict where journalists can also help to mitigate tensions and promote understanding. So we will move to our next slide, trends and perspectives. So I think one of the biggest trends in the media is the rise of alternative media and fake news. So alternative media, as we know, are sources that is outside the mainstream media or anything that is not considered traditional media is alternative media. And fake news is another type of alternative media that contains misinformation, and this can include headlines that might be misleading, stories that are exaggerated or fabricated, and videos that are altered or manipulated to convey a message that is not accurate. And alternative media can also include conspiracy theories, rumors, and other false or unproven claims. Uh, so we alternative media might be a great source. So we all know that alternative media are online sources like newspaper, blogs, community radio stations, local magazines such as newspaper. Also, it might be the online social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram that we all use. So these media sources are becoming popular in the recent times because people have become frustrated with the traditional media because it is very biased, as we know, and with the, they are like increasingly favoring the traditional, no, sorry, the alternative media sources because they provide different viewpoints and even different viewpoints, perspective, and even stories that are not covered by the mainstream media outlets. So the rise of alternative media, I think, is very important in recent times. It not only signals a shift in the ways people are getting information, but it also points towards a wider cultural shift with more and more people questioning the mainstream media narratives and looking for alternative perspectives. So I think there is a big potential uh, to use the rise of alternative media for a chance for positive change. So I would like to mention some popular sources of alternative media. That is National Public Radio (BBC), The Guardian, Maktub Media, as we all have. I think we are all are familiar with the print, the Queen, the Outlook, and different forms of social media also. But even in case of alternative media, some sources are unbiased and provide for comprehensive news coverage without any partiality. But on the other hand, there are also sources that are more biased and opinion diverse, but they still can be a good source for alternative news and information. So I'm going to speak a little about social media. We know that social media companies can also play a very crucial role in building a more universal society by encouraging communication and collaboration between different groups. It also creates safe spaces for where people can feel more comfortable sharing their own experiences and learning about the experiences of others. But while this can be helpful in facilitating dialogue, it can also be used. We are already I think we all are familiar with echo chambers. Echo chambers are spaces where people create stereotypes and where in this type of chambers, people of the same opinion gather, like conservative people supporting conservative people. They are not open for different perspectives and viewpoints. So in that case, social media can be harmful, and I want to say that we should be very careful before consuming any kind of news. We should do our own fact checking and analysis in that case. So my next slide is praxis. Uh, so
Please try to wind up. Yeah.
recognition of systematic inequalities that gives rise to class-based media. So when I say systematic inequalities, it means that our society is organized in such a way which gives power and privilege to certain people, and those privileged people only have the access to media sources, which makes it like difficult for the marginalized to present their own perspectives. And privilege operates in various ways, like in terms of gender, class, and wealth. When by recognizing privilege, I think we can better understand the ways in which certain groups are advantaged in the media world and how this shapes what stories are told and the type of coverage that is given to different issues. Then one way to address the systematic inequalities in a class-based media will be to provide more opportunities to the marginalized groups to tell their own stories. So this can help to counterfeit false stereotypes and negative narratives and about these groups. It can also promote more inclusive attitudes. And another way, it is not it is tangential, but interconnected is the education of the masses. So, socio-political and legal education of people of all age group is essential to which will serve to a limited extent as a fact-checking mechanism while engaging with mainstream media outlets. Uh, so neutral form of media in a class-based society is a need. I think we all agree with this. Form of media cannot exist in a class-based society when the people in power are in potential to for the possible abuse of media. Then how can we have a neutral form of media? And uh, because media industry is dominated by powerful privileged people who use their own power to maintain their status and power by marginalizing others. I don't know if I should mention this. I I mean, okay, the BBC documentary which is banned, I think you all know since there are not a lot of people. So, okay,
Pointer.
okay, so I will speak about conclusion. So I have not said everything that I wanted to say, but okay, I will conclude. So the way, what I think, the way to get media to represent people in a diverse way is to like employ people of all uh, like hiring diverse writers and journalists in our newsroom and making sure that they are promoting and supporting diverse stories and perspectives and providing a safe space for them to tell their stories without fear and judgment. And when I say this, I also mean to say that our newsrooms should hire journalists and from the queer community also. And in addition to portrayal of different genders, media should uh, avoid reporting on crimes that in a way that perpetuates stereotype or fear mongering. Media promotes division between social groups by focusing on negative stereotypes, and that is why media should reduce the amount of coverage given to negative stories about division and prejudice. And also, media needs to be more focused on representing a variety of experiences, perspectives, and backgrounds. But the problem is that media is still dominated by a few companies which tend to only tell stories which they want the people to know. Okay, I am not good at this, but thank you. And
Thank you, Mrs. Smita. It's a very beautiful paper. You gave a general perspective on media. It's, thank you so much. So with this, we come to the end of this session. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'm sure all these papers were very relevant, very interesting. And I would like to thank all of you once again for making this session very interesting. Thank you so much, and let's have a photo session here. Okay.
Hello.
Iya,